Are you a coder who gets rejected based on no practical experience or because others have a strong LinkedIn personal brand and you don't? Your coaching institute will hate me for doing this, but I welcome you to Code to Career 30 Days Challenge, where I have chosen these 5 total strangers out of my LinkedIn contacts and have taken up the challenge to help them go from jobless or underpaid to well paid job, that too without additional degrees and certifications in the next 30 days. If you are a coder and wants to get a well paid job, this is your golden chance to experience real project implementation from scratch that gets you a well paid job and builds your LinkedIn personal brand and also resume for absolutely free. So why just watch? Get into our WhatsApp community to experience this. Link is in the description. Now let's get started. Yes. How are you, all people?
Fine,
How are
sir.
the things? What is going on?
Mm,
Is it possible to be on camera? Amrut, Anand, Chaitanya.
Just a minute.
So how is it going, Aditya?
Sir, it's going good. I have tried. Right. I tried the code till uh, end of the end of headers. No. So till that I have tried the code. I have write the code.
Okay.
Um,
So Anand, anything you have done with respect to the coding?
Coding actually I have to start, sir. No, I have to implement to start the code.
How much time do you have? Only third, until third only. One more week.
Yeah.
Okay. So Amrut, how did your code progress? How is your code progress after driver?
Yeah, so I'm done with JSON parser and HTTP. But still stuck with UART. Like I'm not able to exactly assign this. I was able to do the on the hardware, but like on the assigning it on the ports for your computer, right? That I'm not able to exactly get that. Stuck there a
Okay.
little bit more, trying to understand a bit more on whether any internally.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
You can send from one port of your the dev slash USB TTY to other one. I'm still or you have to connect physically some other wire between two ports.
What is the OS that you are using, Windows or Linux?
Both. Like I mean, I have a dual boot system.
Or for this code?
I'm
Development.
using, yeah, so I'm using WSL, like uh, the subsystem Linux I've installed within Windows.
See, in your UART, right? You write the
Mhm.
normal implementation, what you want to do. Imagine
Correct.
in some kind.
Mhm.
Then you do a F open of something like slash something slash users, create a file with A plus. If the file is not there, it will anyways open, create and open.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then write it there. Then it is
No,
only F open, F write.
problem is not with writing to a file within the same uh, not file it's you sending it to another like how do you define that reader? Like do you like have UART client, UART host?
In UART, there is nothing like client and host, right?
No, but
We each have
you
TX.
both will be, yeah, that part itself. I mean, I think we can discuss about this more detailed. Like I'm stuck literally there. I'm writing in the single file and then trying to do two different ones, like just the host and client. Maybe I can share my screen.
Yeah, you
Okay,
share the
sure.
screen, and before that, let us see what is that you have done with respect to the, you told JSON and HTTP, right? Can you show
Yeah.
that also?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I can share that.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
So let's just say, um, yeah, just have something. I created a basic socket, like whatever TCP socket, server and client, and on top of it, just created a character string for adding whatever the HTTP response, basic one. Print. 1 second. Let the terminal load. Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's a little bit laggy, so bear with that. Oh god. And if I on the call, it just lags a lot more. Yes. Okay. Let me just start my server. Maybe. Hope this works. Mhm. Okay, now, right? So,
Socket add.
okay, yeah, I will be listening. I'll open the code as well. I'll just explain probably. So just put it aside. Hmm. Yeah, so this part of the client, it just I'm just accepting the temperature, then probably sending it to a JSON string, and then sending it to the server whichever is listening on the port. I'm binding the 8080 local host port that, and I'm just sending. So if I just enter and send the temperature, my server receives it, and then it sends back the response basically. Yeah, straightforward, just basic string. Yeah, this is the, and I just kept this in a loop so that it stays alive, the server. Yeah, pretty much. Yet today only I just created a JSON. I just used some library to create a JSON parser. So like my app code will enter or like update the JSON file which I'll be creating, and later that will be passed to this probably the string how I'm handling. But right now I can just show the basic JSON parser how it just reads and prints it. I guess I'm not wrong. Sorry. Right. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. So JSON parser C uses a library called CJSON. So that's I've included in header files. So that just reads stuff and then prints it. Pretty much that's it. This string I'll have to pass it to my HTTP, and then I'm struggling with the UART code. Some things I'm trying it. That's it. Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah, you are audible.
Right.
But
It
this
might
is
not
but
be very.
this is but
So,
on a Linux environment, right?
I mean, you can run it on Windows also. I don't
No, not
think that
Windows
should
or
be.
not But
Yeah.
this assumes that there is an OS or
Right.
some code where you have the socket, and especially inet and all those things, right? They all are POSIX kind of POSIX standard, if I am not wrong.
Right.
Maybe something is defined in POSIX also.
Right. No, I have executed the whole thing, and I have a dual boot system, so I ran this actually in Linux. So my general day-to-day, I keep using Windows, so I keep switch back, and sometimes I am planning to whatever the entire make file or something I have to make, right? So integrate all that. So probably I'll write it in the Linux.
Okay. So if you were to use that code which I gave, like HTTP server, which has that socket implementation and all those things,
Yes, I think it
because
is
that,
pretty much the
because that will go into an embedded kind of environment.
right. 1 second. So resource, right? Let me just um, you're telling about
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
this one, right?
Yeah, this I have hard coded, but
Right.
this can be taken as a very primitive thing, and you can start adding files which will parse the header, adding files, all those
Right.
stuff.
Right. Right. Okay, you mean the wait, this library and this one tabs, I think. Yeah, this one, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, this part, I was actually not able to get this to run. I don't know. You said HTTP core. I was not able to compile the whole thing. So then I left it. I didn't spend a lot of time on that. Then I just referred the template code, and then Barebone just created a socket on top of it. Just one whatever HTTP packet frame you have to create that. I just string and create it. So,
Yeah.
any like this part, like I understand that HTTP core is the main, but any make file, or was it there, or like how do you run that?
Yeah, for these things, right? Actually, we created one make file for this particular thing.
Right.
You can create a make file.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not really great with make, but yeah, I mean, I understand that something must I have to make that. So then I just left that.
Else if you add all the code into one project, you create a project also in your IDE, whichever is that.
Mhm.
Like for example, when I tried to compile this thing, I created just one dummy main function. I created a code blocks project, one dummy main, and
Mhm.
added all these things just to ensure that they are getting compiled. Like as
Oh,
a
okay.
whole, it is getting compiled.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now I'm doing it independent files. So yeah, so I will try using an ID. Yeah, I'll test that out. Thank you for the input. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and I wonder, yeah, so some insight on you. I mean, I do understand the theory part of the insight, but that's what I'm not able to like get, like how you define, or like even within the same computer, how do you send it to two different sockets, or you're
You
telling it as a file?
you do a loop. You do you use loopback address, no, 127.0.0.1.
Okay. You'll create a socket only then, like basic,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
on top of it,
Yes.
a basic TCP socket only, and then on top of it, you just add, or what?
See, if you want to bind, what are you binding? You are binding ultimately the three things, right? Port, I think what is
Yes.
that?
Yeah,
IP
port
address,
and IP,
port and
IP and
something.
port. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you are creating, yeah. I mean, okay, so it will be, I know, because I was under the impression that, like, should you manually create UART, like, to connection, and then, like, it's just, again, it comes down to application level protocol, right? Like UART.
Okay.
So it's just the terminology change then, sender, receiver, both it will be that loop.
No, not just that. In laptop also, when you use hyperterminal or something,
Right.
if you have two UART ports,
Mhm.
then you can actually, or why two UART ports? Take one UART port only.
Okay.
Short the TX and RX. Whatever you are sending, again it will come on the console.
Okay, so
here is my
you
question.
within the same USB with like the same USB port, or like how?
Okay, if you are using USB, then it is USB to serial communication also, it should work.
Okay, okay.
Essentially, what I'm saying is if you have a RX232 port,
Mm-hmm.
USB to serial, let us take that.
Right, right.
One TX and one RX. Okay, did you anytime check the null modem cable? For example, you purchased a cable, but signals is not coming. So first, what we see is we take that RS230 port,
Hmm.
we
Okay, you
physically,
short TRX and TX
yeah,
pins.
we
Yeah,
short.
I mean, usually, yeah, I remember that doing when you have a GPIO pin and Raspberry Pi. I remember doing.
See, this is the most common test. Even where 805 on microcontroller, when I was learning the serial programming, I shorted TX and RX
Okay,
because
but
I was debugging
here,
my code. Okay, transmit interrupt done, receive interrupt, and all those things.
right. So how do I access in my laptop those as a hard pins? Or
They come out right from USB to serial. You will have that serial, whatever that serial output have, you will have that RX, RS232 or something, right? Where you know
oh,
yes,
okay.
this is RX, and you put a jumper wire across that.
Okay, so you want, okay, I have to connect something on the USB port and
If you are talking about ports on the computer,
okay, okay,
if not that, you already have file operations. F read, F close, F open.
okay, okay.
See, even before sending outside, the device is a device file, right? The whole idea of everything in a Unix is a file is because you can use. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. Use these kind of operations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, need some more reading on that probably. So not able to exactly get that.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, like I'm not able to exactly correlate how you emulate it versus how I do it on hardware. I hope you are able to get that part.
Yeah, and I get your point. But to do it on hardware, how frequently are you core embedded? How frequently or how much is your work core embedded?
I'm mostly the apps, like just the time. No, nothing.
Yeah, that's where there is a gap that I see.
Yeah,
Somebody who is into core embedded, doing that stuff and all those things. These are day-to-day activities. They do with all these voltmeters or multimeter in the sense essentially
right.
multimeter. These all these boards, shorting, breadboard, this.
No, but okay. All right.
So the TXRX thing is the very easiest thing.
Right.
You brought into hardware into picture. That's why I gave at the beginning an option for people if they want to go with hardware because all these things are also there. You need to
Right.
first test the UART driver and see that it is going well and all those things. Then you integrate the UART driver.
Right.
So you're saying something?
Um, see, okay. Basically, when I did it on Arduino, right? I loaded server and read, and then when Arduino 2 between Arduino 1, Arduino 2, it is able to transmit that. But again, Arduino 2, if I need to read it via my port, basically Arduino the UART module interacts with the USB USB module, and then you can read it via the same whatever the COM you set it, right?
Why go in your case then why go to Arduino 2 itself? Short TX and RX in Arduino 1 only, right? You will start seeing it on the console.
Right. Yes. Yeah. If you want to see, yeah, when you want to see only on the USB, sorry, the first Arduino's.
We want that only. See, whatever leaves our Arduino 1, we are hopeful or we are
Mhm.
believing that it is going to Arduino 2 or in this case,
Mm.
whatever is leaving from your phone or app the temperature you are setting through HTTP when it is going into the network, it means it is going.
Okay. Okay.
It is going. We see the issue is when the receiver says that, oh, I have not at all received. But for that, all these sessions should happen, the TCP/IP protocol should be running, and all those things will be there, right?
Okay. Okay.
So for now, we are only concerned that is the information going out of my box or not?
Right.
I am trusting that the information will be reaching or is reaching.
Right. Okay. I mean, yeah, I need a little bit more reading or like more just understanding of that part. Maybe I'll discuss with you or sometime.
Okay. So Chaitanya, yeah, great, Amrut. You are able to make good progress. So
Uh,
anything from your side?
yeah, I have done with the user interface and the JSON parser. Like if you give the input, it will parse the string. Till that I have done, and I have to implement that HTTP and UART driver.
Okay, can you share the screen?
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
Is it visible?
It's coming up.
I am on VS Code, right? Like in my virtual box, there was a problem.
Yeah, your screen is still loading.
Oh,
So maybe you can take some screenshot and you can actually show us. In the meantime, I will show the code that I was able to quickly write because I had some stray pieces of code here and there and all those things. So I clubbed and tried to do something. I referred the code
yeah.
which I have already shared, but I tried to write on my own a little bit. So let me share my screen. We will talk today the user interface only. Yeah. So these are the files that I have created. And these are directly coming from my use case and my CRC. I told you many times, right? The CRC card will give classes, or in C, it will give you C files. Yes. So HTTP packet, like for example, I say that, okay, I am JSON and I want to send data. Then what is the other card that has to, what are the other responsibilities? Or sorry, what are the other collaborations? I need somebody to create a packet, right? HTTP packet. So I need HTTP packet. And this JSON library is something which will, if I give 25 temp and 25, it will create temp flower brace, string temp, colon, string 26, close brace. So I am giving an option also for the user that you just give me integer or float, I will convert it to a string. So for example, it is also a use case. The user sends. So the user application. Now I will show you one application also, very, very small application. So application is saying that I have this data provided by user. So before the user can plug in and whatever is that very basic code that you have seen that is hard coded, essentially I am putting that numeric value or something into the JSON payload, right? Hard coding. But ideally that JSON payload has to be constructed. So this JSON library constructs the payload. And this is parser. In the reverse direction, when the smart thermostat or the sender gives me something, I have to parse main and state mission. So I implemented the user application as a state mission using an array of function pointers. Is this big picture clear? Were you able to see how that class responsibility collaboration stuff actually got translated into files, header and source files? Amrut, Anand, Chaitanya.
Is it possible? Can you repeat?
See, the files that you are seeing are actually the classes if you see in C++ or Python. But now, if you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. Files in C because I cannot create classes. But if you go inside, you will actually see a struct.
Right.
Yeah. So now let us go to JSON object. Now if you go to JSON library, so JSON library.h. So there is a JSON object. So remember I told JSON is just a string. So it's a string. Buffer to hold the JSON string, size of the buffer, amount of buffer used. So every time I want to store something, I am storing it as a JSON object. Now these are the APIs. JSON add string, JSON close, JSON free, and all those things. So add string is nothing but a function which will convert whatever is the key and value into a string and put it in JSON object. So before that thing, let us start with application only because it will make more sense. But to understand the application, let us start with main because I started here. So if you see this, yeah, simulate the user input, set temperature to 26 degrees Celsius. You people there? Because I see only black boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
Yes. So because I have to simulate, no, this is the command. So this is like command response kind of thing. Whatever I want to do, I am sending command. I am sending command. I send again a command, which could be something like I want to get something. That's why from my side, it is always kind of server. Now what I did, this is an array of function pointers. So how it is, I will show you in the state mission code. So once I give this command, I have the JSON already created. I am giving that JSON object for this command to this handler. What it does is a different thing. That's a user intention. But what actually happens is once that is done, I am initializing an HTTP packet essentially, and I am setting it. So let us start with the application, which will make now more sense, which is implemented as a state mission. So if you see the states, my application can go through all these states. I can get temperature, I can set temperature, I can turn off, I can turn on. Then these are all the functions that relate to one or the other commands or the enums. And now if you see, I have created an array of function pointers. So state handlers is an array of function pointers where each function takes a parameter of type JSON object. This is the array notation, right? State handlers is a pointer, correct? But it is an array of pointers. The square bracket is read as array of, right? And the size is num states, where each function accepts this parameter. So let us go to set temperature only. So if you go to set temperature, this is a function that takes JSON object as one of the parameters. So what am I giving? I am just print set temperature to 26 degrees. So I am adding a string. So I'm creating the JSON payload, command and set temp, value and this. So what essentially I'm doing is key and value, key and value. Making sense? And then finally I am closing. If you go to close, it is nothing but if you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. The close is nothing but adding the last brace in the buffer, right? Whatever is the JSON object to the buffer. So everything gets into the buffer. I'm just populating the buffer one by one, one by one, one by. Sometimes the JSON string can be very big. Sometimes the JSON string can be very small. In this case, it is very small, as you can see. I'm just saying this is the temperature and 26 value is so and so. How many of you want to see it running so that it whatever I spoke makes sense now?
So it stays in the loop, accepting your input as long as a string you're typing, and then creates a complete string.
Yeah, it creates the JSON object. Yes.
Right.
It creates that string. So how many of you want to see the output?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let us run. So let me compile just once to ensure nothing to be done. Okay, fine. So now you see how it is. Start setting temperature to 26 degrees. JSON output is command : set temp, value is this. And the response is this. 200 okay, application JSON, content length is 40. So this is also very, very rudimentary code. I have picked up from so many things. I read some code in GitHub, this. And I actually mocked up. This is not a complete foolproof thing.
You are giving that input manually or for the JSON?
Yeah, that is where.
Library.
Now if I call this function, right? See, I can
Right.
call this
Okay.
function
Add string.
any.
Yeah, got it.
I can call this function with any value now. So in my user interface, if the user types 26 or something and he will say submit, I can actually call this string and pick up all the fields and create a JSON object. This is the state machine of the application. It's not the front end of the application or the user interface of the application. You can think it something that gets executed behind if the user's intention is to set temperature. So if the user intention is to get temperature, still I am saying command and the command is get temperature. And then it will be sent. That sent part and all those things is in the main, right? Because once I am done with the handling of particular state of my application, then I initiate a HTTP response. So ultimately, actually, it should be sent somewhere here. Finalize the HTTP response and print, but I'm assuming that I'm sending and I'm receiving, everything is okay. Actually, here the sending part should be there, which I'm yet to do. But as of now, the organization of the code with respect to, if you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. Having an application as a state machine so that it can go through various states, set temperature or anything, and then creating a JSON packet out of the input given by user, plugging it into an HTTP. And the last thing is, now the HTTP is there, then I can send it outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will improve this code a little bit, but how many of you now got an idea like, okay, this is how finally the code looks like? Because when we get into a project, we take many things for granted because it's a ready-made code for us and we are doing small changes. Today I heard one lecture, and that speaker also, she told, this is nowhere I mean to say or I want to degrade something and all the things. but somehow that has struck me very hard. Can I share that? And
Yeah, sure.
and my intention is just to make you understand that in the value chain where you are matters, because that is how you will compensate it. So what what she told, and by the way, she was also at one point of time a manager, everything. She had done everything. So she told the people who code or do some work and all those things, we are they are not, or we are not finished products. We are like hammers. If somebody is doing with great technical work, it's a sophisticated hammer. But nobody pays so much price for hammer, right? You pay price for the finished product. So that's what she was trying to say, that you don't, I mean, she was actually telling for people saying that by virtue you will be hammer, but try to be at least sophisticated hammer, that they will pay you a little bit more. So that's where your consistency of coding every day, reading lots and lots of code matters a lot. Otherwise, your mind will not pick up patterns. You will see everything as, okay, for the first time I'm reading. You will understand. The issue comes when you want to reproduce. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So this all starts from your writing that essay. If you have not written that essay, forget about every other thing. When you start writing the code, you will again see something getting missed, something getting missed, something getting missed. And the only reason is that you haven't captured it in a well thoughtful manner at the beginning. So where are you people, each one of you, where are you actually with respect to, if I say with respect to essay, Aditya, where are you? Did you write the essay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you review it yourself? Did you understand completely that when you start speaking it loud, did you feel that, okay, it is making sense?
Yeah, yeah, I have read 2 to 3 times, and I have followed the requirement also. But I think something needs there in essay.
See, I'm not talking about the gaps. If there are any gaps, your code may not be capturing that. But whatever you have written, are you confident that the code will
Yes,
capture
sir.
is the most
Yeah.
important thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Amrit, how was your essay, and how do you now relate the essay that you have written with the code that you have created now?
Yeah. So in my from the previous session also what we discussed, right? So after modifying it, so basically the same thing, code flow, how you showed, right? Three major components: pass the JSON data or create the JSON string, pass it to HTTP, and then send it off to UART from the server of HTTP. This part is what the highlight of that is thing. It's just that having knowledge of each individual source code, how it works specifically, like JSON parser and UART separately, right? So that understanding, if I get, then I'll be able to connect all three. So yeah.
Yeah, that is the how part. But I'm specifically asking about, do you have that essay? It is like, if you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. If you are a director of a film, you will not go beyond the dialogues and the scene that is already scripted and in front of you, right?
Right.
Every actor, everyone they go back, they sit in their chair, and again they rehearse their dialogues only. See how they display it, how they enact. These are all secondary things, the how part.
Correct.
But
Correct.
what is to be there? My question is, do you have that essay written, that 1 page, 1.5 page, or 2 pages?
I wrote like some 5-10 lines, like majorly describing how the flow should happen. That's it.
Yeah, but that will not serve the purpose, right? Because
Okay.
sequence diagram
Can
is not
you
that high level stuff. Sequence diagram is actually going into depth.
can you like yeah, that's what, like I understand that you keep saying that essay, but I don't have any reference of how you write. That's it. like it's just you writing how you understand the flow, or like basically what I described how, right? I just wrote that down. So
That's where the fifth chapter in that book matters, because it was very clearly. So for example, if I ask you to write an essay,
Mhm.
what you are telling me is, I have written the headings for every paragraph of the essay. I'm saying elaborate the essay. An essay is essay, right? The
Oh.
10 lines will not make an essay.
Okay.
There should be certain paragraphs. So you need to travel through the journey of how a user interacts, then what happens, then what happens, then what happens.
Okay.
That's where the chapter 5 is so much.
I mean, my takeaway from, okay, just generally telling, like my takeaway from chapter 5 was that how you avoid certain errors or like coding constructs. I mean, maybe a different takeaway is that, but yeah, so I just
Maybe
went
that in the
through.
later part of the chapter it is there, but in the first part it's all about writing an essay, right?
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's what like I want. Okay. I will try to like that's what I need to make that essay bigger or like you said, I'll yeah.
No, that's why you are in the later stage when you jumped into the code, you miss the part that this code is ultimately going to run, can be even a bare metal. See, the code that I have developed right now, I can put it on STM32 if I just glue the UART part. How many of you understand this? For the code that I have, if I
Mhm.
glue the UART part, I can actually send some bits outside. How many
Right.
of you believe that? Because it's only a string, right? That is there. But in your for your thing, I have to have OS,
Yes.
then TCP/IP protocol, this, that, and all those things.
All right. Okay. Yeah, and I get the point. So directly you'll just initiate a UART module in each of the thing and then try to send it. Okay.
Yeah, if I now go ahead and I'm trying to do it on I have Arduino, but not Arduino Uno. There is Arduino Mega. So
Right.
I'm trying to try it on that.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good insight. Yeah.
So you need to read, because that's what we were trained for during our childhood, writing and reading. That's what differentiate we as an intellectual creatures from other intellectual creatures that are part of nature, because we can read and write. Otherwise, rest our activities, other intelligent creatures are already doing much more better than us. So, Ananda, were you able to write the essay?
Actually, I directly started from high-level diagrams and sequential diagrams. So, I mean, just like a block diagram things and flops. So, yeah,
So, your essay is also not done.
yeah. Some part I just imagined, and this how I mean the data will propagate through and created those things.
Okay, how many of you wouldn't you people agree that if I say the same kind of thing that I assumed, and in our work life, if you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. Didn't you agree that your manager will look at you from top to bottom? Wouldn't you agree that you are actually spoiling your prosperity of getting that increment or anything? So the concept of doing project from the scratch is the concept of doing project from scratch. Yeah, Shubhankar.
Yeah, sir. This week I was not able to do much because like this week I had too much.
ऐसे आपका पिछले जन्म का है, आज का जन्म का नहीं है.
Yeah, I understand, sir. The thing is, like what Amrut said, essay on a high level I have written, but since we do not in the I have read the chapter 5 twice, but the thing is there is no reference. Like the author says only this, that you have to write a essay, you have to pen down the details, but he has not given like any such like example or reference. We don't have. So
No, he takes
the
an
first
example, right?
hand,
He takes some example of a C code.
the first hand, like he is writing the pseudo code but not the essay.
Correct. Pseudo code, आपका pseudo code ही बनेगा. आप, if you come to that pseudo code level, you understand that you are already into the code, but the foundation you are laying by the time you are coming to pseudo code actually is the base for you to create those use case diagrams and sequence diagrams. Explicitly, if I say pseudo code, or without explicitly putting it in characters, I put it in sequence diagram. Both mean the same. The point is, did you reach to a level where you have that slicing of what next, what next, what next, and convert it into sequence diagram is important. The first, I think 5.2 or 5.4 somewhere, he says figure 5.4 or something. So figure 5.1 or 5.1 or 5.2, he says this is the high level structure of this high level code. It looks like this, that you can very much put it as a use case diagram.
Yeah, I will go through it once again then.
Why? Because even if you are a part of a project, right, where the product is already in the market, if you get a small feature also, if you follow this thing, eventually what you are helping yourself is that during this process, the collaboration part actually comes into play very much. And you understand that for my feature to work, what are the other features or other APIs in the same code base I need to take, or I can leverage, or because of my change, what can get impacted. All these dependencies will be sorted out during this exercise, especially the CRC card technique. Yes, I understand most of the files are already there for you, but who is or what is the trigger point for your mind to understand that if I am writing this code, what is the other API I need to call, or what is the other piece of code which will call my API? If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. Vice versa, right? Because you are sandwiching your feature somewhere. Even though it is a standalone thing, it cannot be an isolated stuff as such. Yeah? Yeah, Chaitanya.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, I have joined with mobile. Yeah. Yeah, same as Amrut and Dibanga said. Like I done in a written format, but I think you are required it in a pseudo code or like a code we has to be. I'm not clear about that. Like since there is no reference like this.
So
Like in
the
a
reference,
generic way, I have wrote
reference is actually
the
the
things
requirement
when a
document.
user done.
Yeah, the reference is actually the requirements document, because the requirement document is very clearly saying, and also there are 3 stages of requirement document, right? Must requirements and the different stages of requirements, good to have and advanced requirements. So the base is your requirements document, where it was very clearly mentioned that this is the requirement, this has to do this, the minimum this has to happen, and all those things. Yeah, start working on your essay, then you will see all the things forming in line. Yeah, and the past recordings also are there with you. So watch the recordings. Maybe you can watch it in 1.x or 2x, then you will understand what I am trying to say. Clear? Chaitanya, clear? Okay. Yeah, Anirudh. Yeah, Anirudh?
Hello.
Yeah, Chaitanya, your video is not running. Yeah, might be.
Hello.
Yeah, Anirudh, please go ahead. So were you able to
Audible.
complete the essay?
No, sir. Actually, what Shubhankar told and Amrut told, no, sir. Like same thing. I also did some points.
Okay.
I not elaborated, sir.
So start elaborating the points. Tell yourself the whole journey of how, and if you remember in one of the sessions, I also mentioned, if you just follow the data, like data flow diagram, how it is flowing from what, or from where to where and all those things, you are good to go. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many of you are now hopeful that, okay, if you now start working and things will fall in place? You will get the code, but at last, I want you people to put that extra.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
Effort of writing code on your own and really get that happiness that, okay, this is my code. Might work, might not work in the first instance, but you will have that saying that this is my baby. It sounds very bad, right? Taking somebody's baby and saying that she is my child or he is my son or my daughter.
Yeah.
So how many days or Monday is it possible to come up with some rudimentary bare bone code which will have these things? The cat is already out of the bag. You know the file names.
Yeah. Just continuation with the initial conversation. So I got the idea that you wrote your code from like a bare metal understanding of like how you want to implement the flow, and then you said you will just dump that on even a hardware of a UART and it'll flow it. For the UART communication checking, like to transmit over UART. So is there any other way like how you want to emulate that?
Yeah, there is other way. See, there is in the book that I have shared, Programming Embedded System in C and C++, right? There is a proper driver philosophy. So I am going to implement the same way. Just
Okay.
that by the time when I know that I am writing something like this, see now whatever is there, all are printfs. So my all printfs will go. Everything will be now writing to a file. In Windows only, I will say so and so directory, go and write. Because Windows also, it's a C program, right? So I do fopen and all those things, stdio, then if I have stdio.h, I have all fopen and all those things. So I will write into a file. Then I will open it. I will say .txt. I will open it. I will write into it. Then I will read from it.
Okay, so basically your operation is writing into a file and reading it from a file.
UART write is writing into a file, yes.
Okay.
In Linux, it is like that only, /dev/ something only. It's ultimately a file operation only.
Correct. File handler basic. Oh, okay. Yeah, there it does it. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So even in the return path, when something gets written or as an interrupt, I get some value, then I normally will share it in some variable, but now I will again write it. I will assume that I am writing into a file and I will read that again.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So it's similar to the concept, like basically you writing it to standard and like standard out file handler basic if you want to write it to that. Similar to that, you will write it to the specific UART.
Yeah, specific file. The input.txt and output.txt. I don't need even so many files also. I'll just put input.txt and output.txt and I will do all the stuff. Because ultimately, if you do printf also, what is printf doing? It is doing
basically using
it is doing std out only, right?
Correct. File handler, yes.
It is using file descriptor 2 or 1. Yeah.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
1. Yesterday, standard in is 0 and output out is 1 and standard error is 2, right?
Okay. What is the term you used before that?
No, standard in, std in,
No.
std out and std error.
Yeah. Before that, something else. Yeah.
Which one?
Some term you used. It was in the flow, so I didn't get that word. I mean, I'm familiar with the standard in, standard out in the .dev. You'll have the
No,
file handler base.
the standard file descriptors, right?
Okay. Okay.
See, every file you create, you get a file descriptor, right?
Right.
The process when you create. See, now this code I can, in Linux, if I have to use, I will put it and I will create a process also.
Okay.
I can make it a process, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Then like how you have said ./sr server, I will do / my application, because my anyways when I compile my application, the files might be individually separate. HTTP packet and all, but binary is only one, right? So it will be my app.c, my smart thermostat app.c. So I do that, I will send whatever is the input, then I will create another process called thermostat, because this is my app, and the other file called thermostat, and where the thermostat will just create one file and I will write into this file. So from my app in my main function only. So let me show what I'm saying. If I speak this again, it will go for a toss. So here, whatever I am doing in this main, after creating my packet and all those things, here, just here only, send. I will write, I may use one of the IPC mechanisms and I will write into a file, maybe a pipe or something, and I will write into a file.
Okay.
Or directly I will do, actually, why all those IPCs also? Directly I will do a fopen and do it if it is within this thing. But if I go to Linux, then this is my own process, my smart thermostat app. The other thing is only thermostat, but both are sharing the same pipe or they both can communicate. Then I will put it on one side and I will read it. Now I can use even socket also and send it through local loop IP address. I can send it back. See, this becomes now a simple client server protocol actually. Actual proper client server application, whatever you have written, right? I can actually use this code for that also. Because this has nothing to do with anything. But the moment I bring socket and all those things, that becomes more of a platform dependence.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but this code, I can add that socket features and all those things and enhance. Even otherwise, on an embedded, I can very easily send it outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible to share that part?
No.
Okay.
Not now.
Okay. No. Okay. Fine.
You have one more week.
Sure. No issues. I mean, the intuition build up, that is something I think is a very good takeaway what you just showed, that perspective. Thank you for that. Yeah.
So Monday, let us have give your best. Let it be your baby that will grow, nourish it. Think you have Google, you have ChatGPT, you have this, that, and all those things. You have Udemy, you have YouTube. Most important thing is, if you go ahead and look at all the resources, you will have a lot of information. Only your essay, the document that you have written that is the only one which will protect you not to get overwhelmed with the information. Otherwise, you will fall into the trap. Because somebody will say something, this. But if you know this is what I want to do, you will not do anything more. You can only put that much amount of food in your plate. जितना थाली है उतना ही आप रख सकते हो. And that frame, that boundary is what is that essay. It is saying that don't think beyond this, think everything inside this. Make sense? Okay then. So this recording I will upload, and once it is there, maybe tomorrow morning I will actually share it. Any other question? Else we can conclude the call. Ajay.
Chaitanya is about to share his work. Okay, he is
Yeah.
taking.
I'm waiting for him. Yes. So he
Yeah, I
sent
am
a message.
sharing through my laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
Yeah, my virtual box is behaving odd, so I will show the output first. I have some clarity.
Sure.
Yeah. I will have an option for a login and sign up. The sign up part, if you give the sign up, you can add a new user, like user and some password, and it will be added to the user, and then we can log in with the login, or else the default password has been set, like default user and default password is set. And if you go to the login, if you go to the same user with the password, log into the system, and you will get an option for setting, getting, and scheduling the temperature. And when you set the temperature, will prompt for the option to set, give the values. It will provide some values. It will create a JSON string with username, password, and temperature, and that's it. Yeah, I have done till that. Making
Yeah. Yes. So can you share your score so that other people also can get bit of inspiration?
I have simple login.c file and simple.c, which you have from the simple.c. I have just using for a reference, and yeah, jasmine.h. Yeah, the execution starts from here. Like it will be in a while loop until you give some same state, and the system. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, but I think again some problem has occurred in the Excel box.
Yes. Scroll down.
I can't able to slow.
Yeah, can you scroll down?
Yeah, like stuck up the virtual box is not working right now.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you can put your code in the resources folder and people can have a look at it. Is it possible?
Yeah, like I will push it in the GitHub and I will share the link.
Yeah, that is much more better. Yes, that's a good idea. Please do that. Okay. So give it to Ajay, and Ajay can put it in the group so that everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Okay then. So see you on Monday. So work on the essay and relook at your stuff. It's not such a big thing. You will have, if you start splitting the file, offload something to the right people. I mean, offload everything to the right people. You will see the code automatically getting evolved. Okay. So have a great weekend and see you on Monday. Bye. Yeah, bye.